Welcome to today's Fireside Chat. My name is Yen Lu Chao. I'm the co-founder of the Asia Institute of Mentoring. It is my great honor and pleasure to be your host and the moderator for today's Fireside Chat. We have an amazing session coming up. But before we go into that, just a couple of things. For those of you who are joining us just now, could we just ask you to type into the chat window where you're joining us from tonight. Also, to use the chat window to type in any questions that you may have during the course of tonight's Fireside Chat. Yeah, we're going to use the chat as our main Q&A window. Okay, feel free to ask any of the ladies here or myself, yeah, anytime. And we try to reserve the last 5-10 minutes of the session to answer some of your questions. Okay, let me tell you a bit about AIM for those of you that are new to AIM. AIM is a nonprofit venture with a mission to grow mentors, to raise the quality of mentors and the standard of mentoring, elevating mentoring to the forefront here in Asia while bringing mentoring to all facets of society to impact millions of lives. Last year, in the depth of the pandemic, we launched the United Against COVID-19 initiative with a coalition of partners to bring the community together to help each other out through a series of master classes, webinars, fireside chats, and mentorship programs. We organized 50 online fireside chats and webinars. We organized 5 cycles of mentorship program involving over 300 mentors and mentees. And since then, the community has grown from strength to strength, now numbering over 3,000 and still growing. The UNICOVE initiative demonstrated the unifying power of mentoring-driven human connection and the care for the human spirit, while showing that it is in giving that we receive. Out of this initiative emerged the 5 pillars of mentorship or mentoring: leadership, entrepreneurship, career resilience, parenting, and personal well-being. 2020 was a very difficult year for just about everyone. Even now, as we approach mid-2021, we are not yet out of the woods. What started out as a health crisis became a crisis of livelihood, and now mental health. It's been a tough year for just about everyone. There's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That brings us to tonight's Fireside Chat. I have here with me 5 amazing, extraordinary women who went through some extraordinary hardship at some stage in their life. They not only survived, but they thrived. Each went through their own personal transformation with their own amazing stories of grit and gumption. I would say these are stories of the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. The stories are chronicled in this Amazon best-selling book I have here with me, Undefeated, and which I got a copy of from Delphine. Thank you, Delphine. And because I had to moderate tonight's session, I also had to read the book. And you know what? This book inspired me. The stories of these women inspire me. And I would recommend every one of you to, if you have a chance to read this book. We're going to tell you how to get this book in momentarily. We're going to type into the chat window. Okay. Let me just quickly introduce the ladies, but before I do that, I'm just going to quote from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is one of my heroes, yeah? He says, sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick or throw you a curveball. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. If you haven't found it, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. So keep looking until you find it. Don't settle. So I think these women have found their love, and we're going to have them tell their story of how they found their love and how they transformed. Let me introduce them quickly without further ado. From the upper right-hand corner, at least on my screen, we have Anna von Zinner. Give her a round of applause. We have Oksana Samkova on the upper left. We have Farik Hashim on the upper right, down lower right-hand corner. We have Delphine On. Yeah, and we have Sargun Bettis on the left-hand side. And again, I'm Yen Lu Chao. I'm going to be your moderator this evening. Okay, we're going to go right into it. I'm going to throw out the first question. Again, audience, throw out your questions, if you have any, into the chat window. I'm going to just go around the table and ask each of you to tell us a little bit about yourself. A quick one, 1 or 2 minutes about yourself. Oksana, you want to start with you?
Of course, my pleasure. First of all, welcome everyone, and thank you for having me in this beautiful space. My name is Oksana Samkova. Originally, my name comes from Ukraine, but I live in Australia now for 5 years. But I'm a little bit of international gypsy. I work as a nurse, and I've been traveling through different countries and going through different experiences. I'm also a speaker, thought leader, and author of compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma in frontline workers. So what I do, I really care about people who are very compassionate and they give their all to everybody to help others, and that affects them a lot. And I teach how not to be overwhelmed and get over it and still have compassion. So thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, Oksana. Compassion. Wow. That's a big one. Sargun, can I have you share next?
Oh, yes. Thank you for having me here, Yen Liu. And I'm really glad that I'm doing this in front of so many people joining in from all over the world. So hi, I'm Sargun Bedi, and I'm a counseling psychologist by profession, also a transformation coach, a behavioral trainer, an author, and a creative writer. I also own an organization named Lucid Mind, and I help people reach their balancing mechanisms by unraveling their potential that is hidden behind the window of their pain, confusion, and regret. So I'm glad I'm here to be doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sargun. Anna?
My name is Anna von Zinner, and I live in Melbourne, Australia. And my story is I had a stroke when I was 50, and I had a stroke while I was driving my car. And I drove my car for 15 minutes without knowing that I was having a stroke. And I'm lucky to be sitting here telling you this story, telling anybody this story. And out of that came a legacy of various shortcomings. And one of them is that I forgot a lot of stuff. And what I talk about in the book Undefeated is how to ask stupid questions without sounding stupid. And even though Google gives you a long list of stupid questions, it's easy not to look silly when you're asking questions. There are very simple tips, and if you want to know those tips, you need to buy the book.
Buy the book. Yes.
Buy the book.
Buy the book. We're going to hear throughout that tonight. Buy the book. Thank you, Anna. Farik.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm feeling so honored to be here. I'm living in Singapore now for 15 years. I was brought up in London. I'm originally Malaysian. And I'm a personal development coach and transformational leader with teaching in leadership through empathy. And now I am training to be a facilitator for the Speakers Institute corporate company in yes, in Australia to be one of their corporate facilitators for the corporate companies that we have. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Farvik. Thank you. Last but not least, Delphine.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Delphine, made and produced in Singapore. I'm a mother of 4, 3 teenagers and a little baby. And I'm a youth leadership coach. I'm committed and I'm passionate about transforming and developing youth to become world changers. I'm a platform creator and author, a podcaster, and I don't want to tell you to buy the book. I want to invite you to invest in yourself by getting a copy of the book.
Yes, thank you, Delphine. It's an investment, isn't it? Okay, it's great. Thank you for sharing that, ladies. We're just getting warmed up. Yes, okay. Now, my next question for you. In your journey so far, I read your stories, but maybe in your own words, yeah, what have been the highlights and the lowlights on your journey so far? Tell us a bit more about that journey.
Well, I'll go.
Yes. Anna.
A definite highlight has been finding out that people want you to succeed. And I found out through having a serious, well, I suppose you call it a life-threatening health event, I found out who my friends were, and I found out, surprisingly, that my family weren't that interested in me, and that my friends, the people that I have chosen to be close to, were the best family I could have. And that is an absolute highlight and also a low light. And the other thing is that I had a choice to become a victim or to become a survivor. And I chose to be the survivor. And that choosing, that mindset has made all the difference.
Thank you. Yeah, friends, friends come and go. I always say friends come and go, but friendships are forever, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you for sharing that your journey. It's again, I read your stories, so inspiring. Anyone want to go next?
I'd like to go next.
Yes, definitely.
I would say that we all go through hard times, but I have gone through one of the most difficult times of my life, in which my daughter attempted suicide. That's the story that I share in this book. Is that no matter how hard the day has been, there's always something to be grateful for. And even those times when we find it hard to go, to just move, to just, breathe, I encourage you to do the next best thing, to just get up, dress up, and show up. By showing up, you are opening yourself to receiving opportunities that will come your way. But staying down, we will not receive any of such opportunities. When we show up, life will show us there's so much more life has to offer us.
Showing up for life.
Yeah, so get up, dress up, show up. 3 ups.
So dress up is pretty important.
But during this time when we're having Zoom sessions all the time, you can just dress up the upper part.
Yes, exactly. I won't dare to stand up. Yeah, I think it was Woody Allen who once said this: 80% of success in life is showing up. So this is a very, very good lesson to remember. Thank you, Delphine.
I'll go next. Right. So
yes.
with my high times or highlights of the story that I've shared in the book is is in the title. It says from pain to purpose. So I think I found my real purpose in life. And although it started back when I was a teenager, and all the turmoil emotions that I went through, and the kind of emotional, physical, and mental abuse that I went through in a relationship when I was so young, and I was not aware about relationships at that time, really. And I think it's very important to understand that your emotions really matter, and it's not that your emotions bring you down all the time. They are the real hidden strengths that we have. And if we can identify our emotions in the right place, we know that we can bounce forward, we can jump up from any kind of obstacles that we really think of as obstacles, but they really are, in the face of obstacles, they are challenges in life. And if we can cross through them, I think nothing can stop us from being who we are or who we want to be. So definitely finding the purpose has been the biggest highlight, and embracing my emotions, knowing that vulnerability is going to come, so why not make it my own power? So yes, these are my highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, Sargon. Highlights, yes. Your story reminded me that I think you went from a place of darkness to a place of light, and you want to be the light that shines for other people. Thank you for sharing, Sargon.
Shall I go next?
Yes, you should.
So my low life was losing my mother just after my divorce, and she was my rock. So I had to navigate my emotions around feeling that I'd lost something very, very deeply, that I felt very deeply attached to. But being on this journey has, it's not so much the destination, it's who you become while you are reaching your goals. It's the person you become. And where I want to get off where Sargun said about identifying your emotions, I think it's important to be self-aware about what your emotions are. And now I would say that my highlight is from going from rock bottom and having to claw my way up, and then to step up. There's another one, Delphine, step up. And to step up and just go upwards and onwards. And in that sphere, in that space, you can live your truth, and you have your independence, freedom, and live your passion. That was my highlight.
Yes, amazing. Thank you. I remember your story, and I think you're the one that went from fear to freedom.
Yes.
Rising above the stormy sea.
Yes.
To find sunshine and empowerment. Thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing your amazing stories.
I haven't shared yet. It's
sorry.
okay.
Yes, Oksana.
That's
yes.
Right.
Sorry. Yes.
That's okay.
Please.
That's fine. So I would like to share. So my highs and lows in my story is I'm being a very compassionate person myself, and I chose a very compassionate profession, being a nurse, always helping others. And I absolutely love my profession. But what happened over a long period of time when your compassion exhausts you and you become compassionally fatigued, and all the pain you help others, you take onto you. And that creeps up very slowly, and it hits you, and it puts you in a rock bottom, where I was as well. And I didn't know where to go and what to do afterwards, because I was in a situation where I didn't know. It was just me. I didn't understand what was happening to me. But what my highs from there is that I recognize what happened to me, that it wasn't just me. It would happen that, when you help everyone else around you, it does affect you. It's like your PTSD for nurses ongoing. And it happened not only nurses, but for the carers who look after everyone all the time and being very compassionate. And I had to develop my own strategies. And you can read all about my reshape strategies in the book, how it helped me to get out as well. So I would really love you to get the book and read all the stories we just told you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Oksana. Yeah, I think those are in in the role of healing others also need time for self-healing. And you found that healing for yourself, and now you try to heal other people as well. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go down to the next question. We have some questions from the audience. Okay, we're gonna take that momentarily. That's great. Please keep the questions coming. Yeah. Okay. This is the question for the evening for me. Yeah. And this is my question. What motivates you and drives you? The secret for you to go from ordinary to extraordinary. Oksana, I'm gonna have you go first this time. I won't forget you.
The secret is the power of belief and hope. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that everything is possible. And it's also, for me, a big secret is to go on is support as well. So it's a big support from everyone else. I had lots of support when I was at the bottom of my life, the bottom, let's say, in the pit. And I had lots of support from everyone else. And the secret is do not give hope. Hope is always exist. And if you think that you cannot go any longer, I please beg you, speak up. You need help. You can't do it by yourself. You have to speak up. And the minute you share your pain and your struggles, you'll find people who will help you. And I'll command anyone who is in big trouble or who is feeling low and think they can't do it anymore, please reach out. Pick up that phone, send that message. And I think that's very important. So that will always keep you going, because you will have friends who will help you. And of course, professional help if you need as well. So that's the secret of belief and hope for me, that everything is possible. You just have to believe.
Yes, thank you. Have to believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone? Thank you, Gosana.
Yes, I'll speak up. I think for me, even though I've never been, well, no, I won't say never, but most of the jobs that I've had, I've never not been a manager, but I've just been one of the workers. I think I've always been a leader from below. And I think people have looked to me to guide them through hard times. And I think when I had my own hard times, like when I had the stroke, it was really important for me to get back to work as soon as possible so that people could see that I was okay, and that just because you have something like that happen, it doesn't have to be the end of something. It can be the beginning. I mean, I did some fantastic things when I got back to work because, people were so happy to see me. And my boss was unbelievable. He gave me such a fantastic opportunity and I ran with it. And, I got to be creative and I got to do work as well, but I was creative. And that was what really made me grow. And, I will always be grateful for that, because it showed everybody around me that even though I had something dreadful happen, it wasn't the end. I chose it not to be the end.
Fantastic. So getting right back up onto the horse and keep going.
Exactly. Exactly.
And showing up, day in and day out. Thank you for that.
More like the ability of recognizing that you're enough, having that hope alive, that, you can determine your path, and possibly understanding that we all have that brave side of ourselves. The moment we are able to recognize, I said, the ability to recognize that brave and voicing it out, like Oksana said, voicing it out through your actions is what motivates me. And that's what I help my clients to get motivated through. Because once we voice out our beliefs, our attitudes, our ability to recognize through actions, that's where we are trying to tell our sabotage that you're an alien. And that's where that sabotage cannot take place, that self-criticism cannot come in, because we are brave to know that whatever life is throwing it at us, we're going to survive that. We're going to go through it, no matter with the hardships, but we will. And that's the hope, that's the ability of recognition that we all need to instill in ourselves.
Yes. So to rise above any self limitation and self sabotagism. That's the biggest barrier or block. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the first law of psychotherapy is that people never rise above the opinions of themselves because of their limiting beliefs, their self-sabotage. It's just again what Oksana came up to with you just have to believe in yourself, and you have to create your future. You have to create it within your mind and your mindset. And I have found as my secret that it all starts with your mindset, and that then cascades into every aspect of your life, with your relationships, with your friendships, with your work, it's just a cascade. And it's really, really important for women, especially the ones that I've had to deal with and work with and assist, is that they have to believe in themselves. Absolutely. That is I would say, the first step to building, or the first brick to building the whatever they want to create. And what motivates me most of all is in helping these women, I can see the transformation. And it's just amazing, to see a woman going through one thing at one time and then seeing the transformation and just seeing the strength and the inner beauty and the power and the passion. And it's really like a cocoon and a butterfly, going from the caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly. So that motivates me to just see these women transform. It's beautiful, amazing.
Beautiful, beautifully shared. So transformation begins from within.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go next. And other than, Oksana talked about reaching out, asking for help. And I said, we all have two hands. Try lifting ourselves up. We can't do that. But we can always reach out to help somebody else. So those times when we feel like we are really down, I invite you not to wallow in self-pity, but look around and see, is there someone else that you can help? Because by helping someone else, you feel that I'm not so useless, I'm not so helpless. There is still something that I can do, that I can contribute to. And, at the very low times of my life at the hospital, and I just said this prayer that, God, do not let my pain go to waste. I believe in every adversity, there is a seed, there is a gift in every adversity. Who you are at the beginning of the adversity and who you are at the end of the adversity are two different persons. So the adversity, whatever that's happened, is happening for you, not to you. So there is a seed. Always look for the seed. In what way can this be a blessing to you, to me one day? And the other thing that really motivates me is really my faith. To think of how whatever that has happened to me, there is a reason, and how I can make the best use of whatever happened to me to reach out to other people. And when I was feeling so down and I felt I couldn't help myself, I look at my child who needs my help, and I reach out to help my child, and that got me up. And we forget, and people ask me, why you so brave, why you so strong? We actually don't know how brave we are or how strong we are until we are tested. So each and every one of you have that strength. It's just that you're not put to the test.
Amazing. It reminds me of another quote. It's not that life happens to you, which happens all the time, but how we respond to what happens to you, that makes all the difference. So that's the quote that reminded me. Very powerful. Thank you, Delphine. Okay, shall we move on? I have a couple more questions, but do you want to take a few from the audience first? Shall we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Wow, I hear some lovely testimonial. Lovely listen to you Farik, you are all incredible role models, which you all are. From
Thank you.
Robin. This is from Robin. I think Robin's based in Hong Kong. He's one of our, he's becoming one of our certified professional mentors. This is his question. Can you elaborate how you can show up every day? I think maybe this is to Delphine, but anyone can answer, yeah? And every day in a positive manner when you are experiencing adversity, difficulty, challenges in your journey. How can you show up every day? This showing up in a positive manner, despite being in the dumps.
Okay, I would say that we look at the next best thing you can do. Like when you're lying in bed, don't think about dressing up or going to work. That's like too much to ask for. What I ask you for is, what can you do next? Sit up. There are times when I say, okay, the point of no return is when I sit up, I will have to go. So what is the point of no return? When you do that, you are just carried by the momentum to move forward. And I would say that avoid toxic positivity. When you're down, acknowledge and process, and not deny that, oh, I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling okay. Your emotions are messengers to tell you, to help you to look at what is it that's the gap. What resources do you need? Where can you ask for help? So that would be my answer to you, and I hope I answer your question.
I'd like to add on to that. Yes. And say that when you're down, for me personally, but I think it's above all boards, it's understanding that you can come from a place of gratitude. We are actually very blessed in the life that we have, no matter how hard it is. There's just so much to be grateful for. And I always say to my clients, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Write down your blessings. You know, you have a healthy body, you have wonderful children, you can have food anytime you want, you can go and travel, you know, there are always things that could be worse. So come out of your feeling of helplessness and just look at it with gratitude. And from there, as Delphine was saying, take the next step. And that's where I would go with this question.
So
well, I think,
yeah,
you know,
sorry.
Like, positivity is overrated. And like Delphine said, you know, recognize the toxic positivity. You don't have to be positive all the time, right? It's also about embracing what you're going through, right? So if there's an adversity, and definitely we all go through adverse situations in life, it's about embracing what we're going through, just accepting that this is the circumstance and situation. However, what goes beyond that, or what goes next, is your step that you're going to take ahead. So it's not going to be it's not necessarily a big leap that you need to take to transform or change your entire situation, but it's about being in that moment, taking that moment step by step, knowing that you have the resources, knowing that you can really seek out and reach out for help. And like Farik said, gratitude. So being thankful for what all you have gives you the power of recognizing that life has its ways to show us, you know, what's there. So every emotion that you're going through, even if you feel that's too negative, is trying to give you a message, is trying to give you an answer that probably is not coming up in words, not showing up in actions, however, is telling you and teaching you something. So kind of delve into it, understand that this emotion is going to stay not that longer, but you're going to come out better and brighter.
I agree with what everyone's saying. And just going from my own experience, from what I've been through in different situations in life. But I would say one thing that sometimes when you fight against something you cannot take control of or change, the simplest thing is to surrender. And I know it sounds like a defeat, but surrender is not a defeat. Surrender is simply taking a pause and letting see where are you actually being taken. And that could be a situation in life, in real life, like me being thrown in the ocean, a night dive, and taking away with a current, and no way of breaking up and just surrendering to the current and waiting. It could be you knocking through, trying to fight against horrible infections and pandemic, and you have no control over it. But surrendering to this situation, which you cannot control, and just concentrating on basics, what you can. When I was in that ocean on a night dive, which is not in my book, but just saying, I had to surrender, but the thing I had to concentrate is breathe. All I had to do is breathe and shine my light. And that's what kept me survive. And if you find in life that all you have to do is take a step back, surrender, and just do what takes you through that tough time, you'll figure out where to go next. It will show up. It will take you where you need to be. So that's my message as well.
Thank you. So don't stop breathing. Is that what you're saying?
Keep breathing.
Keep breathing.
That's right.
Good advice. Very good advice.
Robin,
Anna,
I'd like to say that when I had my stroke, I can distinctly remember lying in the hospital bed going, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me realise it's not all about me. It's there's a lot of other people who are a lot worse than me, and what happened to me was minor in comparison to some of the people that were in the same hospital as me, and in comparison to the things that happen to other people all the time. So unfortunately, I am one of those people whose superpower is positivity. I'm sorry, other ladies. I'm one of the ones that goes around saying, it's all good, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just keep going, keep trying. But it is. For me personally, I try and look for the positive, always look for the positive, and it gets me through to the next stage, the next moment. I always, if I'm in a hard time, I say to myself, what is the worst thing that can happen to me right now? Or what is the worst thing that is happening to me right now? And that very second, the answer will 99.9% of the time be nothing. And that's how you get through. You take one little step at a time.
Great,
that's
thank
it.
You.
One little step.
Thank you. About that. Glass half empty, half full, isn't it?
Mm.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question. Since AIM is about mentoring, I'm gonna ask you about mentors. Anyone during this journey, anyone you consider to be your mentor who has helped you along? Anyone? So I think who was that? Was it Anna talk about friends? Yeah.
Yeah, I have discovered, I mean, in wanting to do the things that make me happy and make me operate on a higher level, I have been fortunate enough to get in touch with the Speakers Institute, and I have been fortunate enough to work closely with Sam and Kate Cawthorne, and they have been wonderful mentors to me because they have given me opportunities and experiences that I never would have had if I hadn't have met them. And I would say that probably they've been the biggest mentors in my life. Also, the boss, when I had my stroke, the boss that gave me free rein, he said, I want to see you back at work. Do what it takes, take your time. That was the other thing. they were the three people that have really changed my life.
Wonderful.
I want to answer this question in two parts, right? So when I talk about my story, at that time when I went through what I went through, I think my mother has been the biggest pillar, the biggest mentor I've had, because she accepted me the way I was at that time, helped me understand my own behavioral concerns, adjusted and adapted to what I was going through so that I could resonate with what she went through when I went through what I went through, So all that, she helped me build up the strong personality that I am today, and it's because of her. And that's when that time was there. Now, if I talk about the present, I think I would like to mention, at a personal level, I would also like to mention my husband. Why? Because he lets me be me. Even today, I'm married, it's been 5 years, and he lets me be me. There's no judgment, there's no stopping, and I can do what I want. I am a free person. I never feel that I'm bound by the shackles of life, and that keeps me going. So he has been a strong mentor to me in that way. And if I talk about at a professional level, I think I wouldn't have come out with this story had I not been a part of Speakers Institute, had I not attended their boot camp. So Sam Cawthon, big kudos to what he has really envisioned for the world, wherein people really come out. Last year, around February, until February, I wasn't sure if I would ever voice this out about my own story, what I went through, because even if I'm a psychologist, I'm a human first, right? And I had this fear instilled in me that what is the world going to say? How are they going to look at me if I come out with what I went through? And why would they believe me to be a psychologist if I had my bad time in life? However, when I attended the boot camp and I voiced out my own journey, my own story, I think it helped me become brave, and it gave me the pathway to just come out with whatever I feel, to be human, right? So understanding that I am human and I need to be that for the world too, right? So I think, yes, so at a professional level, Sam has been a great mentor to me. Also, I've been in this profession for 9 years. However, I cannot miss his name. 3 years back when I started my private practice, I'd like to mention that I have a business coach. He's my mentor, Mr. Hetal Patel from the UK. And he really helped me. It was a hard journey, to start a private practice, leave a mindset of a corporate job and stuff like that. And, have that business mindset. I was in a struggle, damn. And this person helped me through the thick and thins to help me achieve that ability that I can also have my own business and I can work through it. So yes, these are the four pillars of my life, my four mentors throughout. So
yes, thank you. Anyone else
Can I
want to
say?
share?
Yeah. Can I say? It might sound to everyone who's listening like we're mentioning Speakers Institute. But the main reason is this book would not happen if it wouldn't be for Speakers Institute, Speakers Tribe, number one. So that's why we've all been united by Speakers Tribe, and I call it my tribe. The amount of people, amazing people I met through the tribe, and what I've learned through all of this is you matter. Vulnerability is your power. Because I've been taught from a very young age and through life, you have to be strong, keep it to yourself, don't share your weaknesses. And what I've learned just recently, that your stories are your power. That's how we connect to each other. And vulnerability is your strength and power. And when I always love to listen to everyone else and what they overcome. And perhaps if your story can change one person's life, your job is complete. So we're all united here with the Speakers Institute, Speakers Tribe, and that's how we all end up writing this book. And I have to mention Asutosh from India tribe, our leader from India tribe and global leader now, who is actually should be watching us. If it not be for him, people with vision, big visions, make things happen. And because of Asutosh, he actually collaborated everyone, and we end up in the book. because we would not be sharing our vulnerable stories and being, being open and powerful. And I would say I could name teachers, but I say every person I met through Speakers Institute, Speakers Tribe impacted my life. And I've met friends, and I made fantastic friends, and it's so inspiring, so motivating. And it's true to say that proximity is your power. Think of who's surrounding you. If you feel down, you feel negative, you feel, feel lost, who's supporting you there? You might know so many people, but you still feel alone. So you need to find your tribe. And to find your tribe is people who resonate with you, who understand what you're saying, who's not going to point fingers and laugh at you, who will actually hold the space for you. And this is important. That's for me, that Speakers Tribe, that's what did for me. And continue doing. And thank you very much, everyone, because you're my Speakers Tribe sisters and brothers, and I'm just loving it.
Thank you. Find your tribe.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would say that. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry, Delphine.
Right. Jim Rohn said, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So, who have you surrounded yourself with? And I'm so blessed to be in close proximity of people that I can learn from constantly. And I remember a saying that if you are the most interesting person in the room, then you are in the wrong room.
Leave the room.
So I
Yeah, I love
always
that.
look to
I
make
love
sure
that.
I'm the
Yeah.
most boring person in the room. That said, I will say that for me to come out of the woods, I have my tribe. People who create a safe space for me to be in. That I can cry, I can be myself, I can look like an auntie, and nobody's gonna laugh at me, and they still love me for who I am. I don't have to mask my feeling, and I can be safe showing just who I am, and that is so rare. And the other thing I would say is, if you want to attract the right tribe, you go to be the kind of person who will attract the right tribe. Who are you showing up to be that will attract the people that you want to attract? And the one person that inspired me, other than I would say, other than my friends will help me, close friends, I would say the one person who really inspired me is my mother, not by what she said, but I see how she inspired me by the way she lives her life. Although she has led a very hard life, but she never has bitterness in her. So she's always full of kindness. And I'm so thankful to be able to see that. And I hope to model that for my children.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delphine. And I have a similar tribe also. I mean, the Speakers Institute tribe for me have been one of the biggest and the best support system that I have had. When Sam talked to me at the boot camp, and then he said, Farik, your proximity is your power, or power is your proximity. I couldn't understand it until I had to go through these experiences and get to know the tribe members and go through all the amazing contacts and the friendships that I've built with the tribe. It has been incredible, and it transforms your life. It transforms your life. It transforms who you are. Absolutely salute the Speakers Tribe motto, where proximity is power. And when I was also a few years ago going through my problems, I also had another group of friends who were there for me with a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding, and no judgment. And I think, and they had my back. And there are times when we just feel we're just breaking down, and it's those people around us that hold us together, and that makes me so grateful for having them in my life, feeling very blessed. And last of all, again, like Delphine, my mum. She was my rock, and I hear her voice whenever I have a problem, I have a challenge. I can hear her voice, and I can just feel that she's always there for me, and she's talking to me as a guide. So.
Wow. Thank you for that, ladies. That was amazing. This is a question from the audience that I think you've shared a lot of wisdom so far. This is a question. Was there an aha moment for you that was the trigger to your positive transformation? Was there an aha moment for you?
Ooh. Yes, most definitely. I think when I was in the hospital for those few days after the stroke, and I came to that realization that having the stroke was not the worst thing that could happen to me. It was in fact a good thing. That was a real aha moment for me. I'm not going to say it made me a better person. It made me a different person. Because I've always been a good person, but it's just made me it made me change the way I look at things and people and what's happening around me. And I think, yes, definitely an aha moment.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Anna.
Okay, one aha moment for me for the positive transformation, I would say, is that I said that I prayed this prayer, Lord, do not let my pain go to waste. And then from that moment, I was always looking at how can I use my pain for good. And that was how I operate for longest time, until one day I realized, why am I looking for pain to create something? I want to be in a place where I can create out of joy. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And I want to put myself in a place of joy when I create my future. And so that took me out of always looking at pain as a catalyst for me to make changes. And it makes me realize that there are things in our lives that we can start to create in joy. Don't wait until we come into pain, we hit an obstacle, then we start making changes. For example, our health. We are not eating healthy. When something happen, like we are forced to, if we are fallen sick, then we have no choice but take a time to recuperate. Why don't start taking positive actions right now to build good health? That's an aha moment for me.
Great. Taking the action right now. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Yes, do not wait for tomorrow. Thank you, Delphine. Anyone else want to have an aha moment? If not, I'm going to move to a closing. And what I'm going to do is I have two questions, one from the audience and one from myself. You choose one to answer for yourself. The two questions are, okay, this is a question from the audience, Suman. What is the next level for each one of you? I'm sure each one of you have a different answer. What will be your step up to impact the world? So that's the question. My question is, tell us the one wish you have for the world. So you can pick your answer to either question or any question that you like to answer for that matter.
I'm going to start this because I think my answer answers both those questions. With this book, the Undefeated book, it's not just the five of us talking about our stories. It's 20 people. There are actually 3 men's stories in this book as well, talking about the women in their lives. And I think the important thing about this book, and I am blessed because I was actually co-editor of this book, so I have actually read all of these stories, is that every one of these people has had the opportunity to tell their stories. And I am now a coach and a mentor in helping people to work on presenting their stories to the world. That is my next level. And that has come from working on these books. And I am so proud to be able to do that.
Thank you, Anna.
Well, I'd like to answer Yen Lu's question about the wish that I wish for the world here is that, I wish a world which is free of judgment, it's judgment free, where personal struggles, and specifically mentioning this book, if you read this book, if you have this book in your hand, you'll realize that, every personal struggle is different. And, it cannot be measured or compared. And that's what I wish for the world, to become judgment free and use personal struggles as to strengthen the humankind. Right? And that's what this book tells you, that there are 20 authors, different stories, different visions, different ideas, different struggles, and what they've gone through, they have come up forward from it. And we all can. And also having a great support system is something that I wish for the world. So if for some it could be family, for some it could be their mentors, for some it could be their bosses, for some it could be their friends. So whoever it is, recognize your support system, because that's what your world will surround around. Thank you.
Thank you.
For me, what would be my next level would be, I want to see more women, or everybody, live their truth and live their life with their passion and living it through their heart, rather than feeling that they're being judged or with their limiting beliefs or the self-sabotaging. Just to be free and to live a life that is totally their authentic self. And I think when you get to that place, it's not just for yourself, it's for your friends, your family, your everything just transforms. And I've seen it happen. And once I have gone through this myself, I think it's just an incredible journey, and everybody should do this. Everybody can try, and it's just to live your truth.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say quickly as well. So my wish is for everyone to, as I said before, to believe in themselves. You can be extraordinary. You are extraordinary. It's within you. You put your wish, you put your mind to it, and you go from your heart. Be kind and go from your heart, and you can reach whatever you wish for. So I'm just wishing everyone to, and if you're inspired by any of the stories, they're absolutely amazing. I mean, I cried through half of this book, because when I wrote a chapter, I haven't read any other stories, so I didn't really knew what was in there, and it's absolutely amazing. It's inspirational, and it moves. Every story is unique, and it moves, and you can relate to every story. There is something you can relate to it. And I would say that not only that, but this is such an amazing cause that we're helping also with this book. I don't know if you haven't mentioned, but this book, all this proceeds of this book, I don't know if Yenlu was supposed to mention that, goes to amazing charity, or shall I leave it to you?
I'm happy to do it either way. I'm going to repeat what you said anyway.
That's right, because we are, with this book is celebration of women empowering each other, and we help other women to get back on their feet and empower them as well. So by little kind gift to yourself or to someone else, you can actually help another woman or another person on this planet, which is, I think it's amazing.
It's amazing.
So I'm just sending love to you all, and thank you very much. Buy the book.
Okay, I will say that
Delphine, yes.
yeah, each of you is a light. You are a light, and don't dim your light and put your light underneath the bed. You are meant to shine because you are a light. your light is meant to shine. And the other thing I would say is that we all run our own race. Let's not compare ourselves with other people. We all are flowers blooming at different time. The flowers in the garden, they all bloom at different time. They don't look around and say, oh, the lilies look at the sunflower. Oh, you bloom at this time. I'm so jealous of you. They just bloom regardless. So bloom and shine, everyone.
Love it. Bloom and shine.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Get up,
Thank
get
you.
up, show up, and light up.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've got 4 lines that I would like to end this entire thing with. These are lines that I
Yes,
would
Sargun.
undefeated, if I have the permission.
Of course.
So it goes like, rejected, affected, my heart dissected, shattered, scattered, betrayed and battered. Back then, I wanted to shout out, I matter. Still rejected, still affected. In my heart, felt crushed, felt dejected. Unheeded, cheated, felt so heated. But I'm loud enough to voice out, I am undefeated.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that poetic closing. Okay, with that, we're gonna close tonight's session. Please join me in thanking all these 5 amazing ladies that went from ordinary to extraordinary. Remember to buy the book. I put in the link on Amazon bookstore. You can go and purchase it. Remember, Undefeated, moving from ordinary to extraordinary. Not only, I mean, I read the book, so I can tell you firsthand that it's very inspiring, each and every story. Not only that, if you buy the book, as Oksana said, the proceeds go to Dollar of Tomorrow, a charity that helps underprivileged women. So you're doing 2 good things when you buy this book. You're inspiring yourself and you're helping other women. No reason not to do it, right? Okay, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and wish you a beautiful evening and a beautiful BSAC day tomorrow. And please
Thank
stay
you,
behind for a
everyone.
few minutes, ladies, if I may, just a few minutes, and do a short debrief. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.